Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to contribute to such important motion that is affecting the whole Republic and the people of Kenya, so that we can be able to substantiate facts and lies as well. Madam Speaker, I think this motion, and I really want to congratulate the Leader of Minority for bringing the attention of the government and also the side of the minority, so that we can discuss and debate on measures that we are going to take and what has brought us here as a country. Because it's also very important to take restock and also consider where we are coming from. Some of the issues that today have affected our country in such a big way is the issue of, the Handshake brothers. Because the then opposition was not able to oversight the government the way it was supposed to have done, Madam Speaker. They were not doing their role as they are doing right now. And I think that's why we all agree that it is important for us to leave Maandamano and streets and come to the floor of the House and prosecute and oversight the government, so that they can make sure that the government is doing what it's supposed to be doing currently, Madam Speaker. The issue of debt, and I thank His Excellency the President, because he spoke very well today. And he said, we cannot continue borrowing and digging holes and making sure that we're not moving our country forward. And he said one of the measures that they are going to take is that we are not going to borrow only current expenditure. And that's what has been happening in this case, Madam Speaker. He stated, because we're in the executive and you're owning up, if there are issues, the high cost of living, we are owning up, Madam Speaker. And he said the deficit that was there in 2022-2023 budget was about 800 billion. But 250 billion was also realized that was not accounted for, and it was not declared in the budget, Madam Speaker. And therefore, he has really done what he is supposed to be doing, and making sure that he's not going to borrow. And we have reduced the amount of money that we are supposed to have borrowed 2022-2023 to a tune of about 300 billion, Madam Speaker. These people can only wait. And because they realized that the trajectory that the Kenya Kwanza government is taking is to take this country to the next level, is to move from the shadows of our debts and also make sure that we are self-sustaining as a country, Madam Speaker. And therefore, we can only ask the minority side to support the government, to leave the streets, to go back and start building this country in terms of making sure that we respect the businesses of other Kenyans who are trying as much as they can to rebuild our country, Madam Speaker, after serious and vigorous campaign that we had in 2022, Madam Speaker. The cost of living, we cannot run away from it. But for sure, we have seen what the government has been able to do to actually bring the cost of unga, that when we took over the government as Kenya Kwanza was about 250. And today, if you go to our stores, Madam Speaker, you realize that the cost of unga has dropped to about 180, Madam Speaker. And therefore, that's what we call progress. And it's only 6 months, Madam Speaker. The salaries have been delayed. For sure, it is true, it has never happened. But the President said it is better for us to live within our means. If there are going to be issues to do with planting and making sure that we subsidize the production in terms of maize production, Madam Speaker. And we have seen the President is setting an example. It is the rainy season. We need to go back again to our farms, plant maize, plant food, plant local food, so that we can be able to feed ourselves and feed our neighbors and feed our country, Madam Speaker. Therefore, the work of the opposition is to oversight the government. And we really appreciate what the minority side is doing currently, Madam Speaker. The issue of subsidies, it's something that we have stopped. The issue of dollar rate going up, and also making sure that the kind of imports that we have been importing, Madam Speaker, we have been able to deal with in terms of the exchange rates that we have been receiving from the banks. And the President has assured us today that in the next maybe 2 or so months, that the dollar is going to come down to about 115 shillings. That's what we call the plan. And it is high time the opposition to sit down. Give us time. If in the next 1 year or 2 years, this country will be a different country, Madam Speaker. And therefore, the issue of delayed payments, the issue of pending bills, I think that's what the government and the President is dealing with. And we can only tell the Kenyan
Thank you. Your time is up. The member for Chepalungu on a